Coming up on 5 Minute News. US House Committee to release Trump's tax filings. Volodymyr Zelenskyy to visit Washington, D.C. And 2 dead after 6.4 magnitude earthquake hits Northern California. It's Wednesday, December 21. I'm Anthony Davis. The US House Ways and Means Committee voted on Tuesday to issue a report on Donald Trump's tax returns, likely offering a deeper look into financial records that the former president tried to shield from the public. Lawmakers indicated after the vote that the world could see redacted copies of Trump's tax filings within a couple of days. The dueling mix of animosity and loyalty inspired by Trump has made the release of the tax forms into a fever-pitched and years-long grind, one that could continue well after the public learns more details about the finances, foreign dealings, and possible net worth of the one-term Republican president. The report shows how much of a grip Trump still holds over U.S. politics, despite losing re-election in 2020. Democratic lawmakers argued that transparency and the rule of law were at stake by voting to issue the report that legally rests on questions about IRS audits of the wealthy. Tuesday's vote comes after a multi-year battle that ultimately resulted in the Supreme Court clearing the way last month for the Treasury Department to send the returns to Congress. The committee received 6 years of tax returns for Trump and some of his businesses. Trump has had a long and complicated relationship with his personal income tax. As a presidential candidate in 2016, he broke decades of precedent by refusing to release his tax forms to the public. He bragged during a presidential debate that year that he was smart because he paid no federal taxes, and later claimed he wouldn't personally benefit from the 2017 tax cuts he signed into law that favored people with extreme wealth, asking Americans to simply take him at his word. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy was preparing to visit Washington in his first known trip outside the country since Russia's invasion began in February. The visit to Washington is set to include an address to Congress on Capitol Hill and a meeting with President Joe Biden. It comes as lawmakers are preparing to vote on a year-end spending package that includes about $45 billion in emergency assistance to Ukraine, and as the US prepares to send Patriot surface-to-air missiles to help stave off Russia's invasion. The latest tranche of US funding would be the biggest American infusion of assistance yet to Ukraine, above even Biden's $37 billion emergency request, and would ensure that funding flows to the war effort for months to come. Zelenskyy has almost daily addressed various parliaments and international organizations by video and has sent his wife to foreign capitals to drum up assistance. On Tuesday, he made a daring and dangerous trip to what he called the hottest spot on the 800-mile front line, the city of Bakhmut in Ukraine's contested Donetsk province. In a video released by his office, Zelenskyy was handed a Ukrainian flag and alluded to delivering it to US leaders. A powerful earthquake rocked the Northern California coast early on Tuesday, jolting residents awake as it shattered glass, took homes off foundations, damaged roads, and left nearly 60,000 homes and businesses in the rural area without power and many without water. At least 2 people were killed and 11 were injured. The magnitude 6.4 earthquake occurred at 2:34 a.m. near Ferndale, a small community about 210 miles northwest of San Francisco and close to the Pacific coast. The epicenter was just offshore at a depth of about 10 miles. Numerous aftershocks followed. Residents in the area, known for its redwood forests, scenic mountains, and the 3-county Emerald Triangle's legendary marijuana crop, are accustomed to earthquakes, but many said this was more violent and unnerving than the usual rolling motion they experience. Damage to buildings and infrastructure was still being assessed. 2 Humboldt County hospitals lost power and were running on generators, but the scale of the damage appeared to be minimal compared to the strength of the quake, according to Brian Ferguson, a spokesperson for the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services. Approximately 11 people were reported as suffering injuries, including a broken hip and head wound, the Humboldt County Sheriff's Office said at a news conference that was interrupted by a jarring aftershock. 2 people died, an 83-year-old and a 72-year-old, because they couldn't get timely care for medical emergencies during or just after the quake. You can subscribe to 5-Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5-Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5-Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.